top 3 romance animes of all time. Now I'm picking these choices based on how many minutes, how many hours I put into the show inside and outside. Before I begin my list, I just want to say that I'm also including non-romance anime shows in this list. For example, Death Note. It's not in the list, but Death Note, it's not considered as romance genre. However, there is romance in the show, like this crazy blonde hair girl that is obsessed with the main character. So I'll be including some shows like this in these 3 lists that I have. And if you say these aren't romance anime, too bad, it's your opinion, you're entitled to it. If I ship a couple, I'll ship it. We all got our own ships that we want to see sailing. And also, I'm more of a less is more type of person, so there's no happy ending in some of them. Alright, let's begin. 3rd place, Oregairu. This is when I started to get into romance anime more. I watched the first season casually on a romance anime binge, and I stumbled on Oregairu. And so after season 1 of Oregairu, it wasn't bad. The main character was really cool. He had some really funny takes. 2nd season started to get really serious. The thing about this show, there was like a lot of sarcasm. So while watching the show and reading the subtitles, sometimes like great funny jokes, great comeback, important sayings bounce off the top of my head, and I would miss it. So after finishing these 2 seasons, I started another romance anime. Like I was watching Love is War, Rent a Girlfriend. Like I said, I was new to romance anime and I was trying other things. And then after that, I was like, you know what, let's just watch Oregairu again, screw it. The reason why is I was like thinking about the show a lot, analysis, to try to do extra research on the show, on what this particular character said in this dialogue, what her body language meant. What did she mean when she said this? What did he mean when he said that? Blah, blah. There was so much double, triple meaning in dialogues in the show. And I was thinking about this show a lot, like I said, and figuring out what they meant. There were so many witty jokes characters made when I rewatched it, and I even enjoyed it watching it for the 2nd time because I felt like I understood it as a whole more, which is something I never did in a romance anime. Okay, actually, this show is actually romance genre. Like I never wanted to rewatch something that fast. So I watched that during the summer. And like a couple weeks later, I just wanted to watch Oregairu again. Then season 3, prime COVID times. The final season of Oregairu came out during that time, and the rest was history. So Oregairu, definitely one of my favorites. I made so many videos about it. It's for sure in my top 3. Now, 2nd, Your Name. Spoiler. I said spoiler, okay? When I realized Mizuhara died, my mind was really blown. At first, I was confused on my first watch, and I continued to watch the rest of the movie even though I was lost. After that, I did some Wikipedia, wiki fandom searching, and I finally understood. I rewatched it, and I love it even more. I think I properly watched this from beginning to end only 2 times. It wasn't much, but like time to time, as time went on, I would just come back to see some aesthetic scenes, like when they were on top of the mountain. They finally saw each other making eye contact. Every time when that soundtrack comes on. My watch time wasn't as much as Oregairu. I think I watched Oregairu way more. But it's just this goddamn soundtrack. It's called Date 2. That music was with me, even though I didn't even think about this anime that much. I really love music. And every time I think of this music, I just think of the show, and I thought about it a lot. Because of that soundtrack, I bought a piano a year ago, and I spent like 2 weeks trying to learn that piece. And the moment where I could finally play it, I just kept playing it over and over again. Usually when you learn a song completely and you get good at it, you move on to the next song that you like. But for me, I loved every second playing this piece. That was like the reason why I bought a piano, and there was other reasons too. So like I sold my piano because I got bored with writing note by note on the piece of music I'm trying to write. So like for Your Name, for the piano, I was writing each note on a piece of paper. Once I write it down, it's a pain in the ass. Then I would look at it and blindly copy the music. But all that hard work was worth it. I originally wanted to buy a piano because I wanted to create a beautiful sounding music just like that when I'm learning of Your Name, Day 2. But producing music is a whole nother ball game to learn. And right when I sold the piano, months or years later, I kind of regretted it because I kind of miss playing the songs that I love. Your Name wasn't the only one I played. I played some other gaming soundtracks. So I bought it again like a week ago. And I remember some parts, that's the first thing I wanted to play again. But I remember the main theme of Your Name, which is the da-na-na-na-na. I still remember that. But yeah, I forgot most of the other pieces of this music. I also listened to Date 2 whenever I was in the car, whenever I was studying. It's just an unforgettable masterpiece. Something about that movie. And fun fact, that was actually the first romance movie that actually got me into the romance genre, and that I became a fan of it. And that's when I watched Oregairu. That's when I watched other romance shows. And now, number one, first place, Attack on Titan. Listen, Attack on Titan ended a week ago, so kind of spoilers. Attack on Titan isn't romance. It's not known to be a romance. But here's my story with Attack on Titan. After finishing season 1 in 2015, I shipped Eren and Mikasa with all my heart. While I was waiting for season 2, I just hated waiting. I thought the anime was never gonna come out. And so I let my cousin spoil me a bit. And he was talking about chapter 50. And when I was reading the pages with him, I fell in love with this anime all over again. So waited 2 years. Season 2 came out 2017. Loved it. Waited for season 3. Came out. Loved it. Then along with that, I watched some OVA. Waited for part 2, season 3. Loved it. Then waited again. At this point, during the wait process for season 4, I decided to rewatch from season 1 again, just to catch up before season 4 comes out. And when season 4 part 1 ended, I did the same thing again, rewatched from season 1 till season 4 part 1, just weeks before season 4 part 2 came out. And so I watched that, loved it. I didn't want to rewatch it. The movie came out, and I remember my friend was with me. He fell asleep, and he loves Attack on Titan. Usually, I really hate when people fall asleep in movies, but it was like the first time I didn't care, and I was loving every second of it. It felt like the fastest 1 hour of my life. And then, waited again, last Sunday, the final movie. I said I waited many, many times. The thing I was waiting for was Eren and Mikasa to be together. That was what I selfishly wanted. Just the scene of them together, makes me excited. I want them to kiss, but not like that. What happened at the final movie? I mean, yeah, they did it, but still a great movie, a great ending, and the greatest anime of all time I ever watched. The show isn't considered romance, but I really love romance animes where like less is more. And this show did that perfectly. Like, it's not just romance. It's like a good storyline, badass fights, and then throw some romance on the side, which makes the romance even more better. Usually, if a show is like all romance focused, like stuff in a school setting. I mean, hey, Oregairu is in my top 3, but the reason why I loved Oregairu is because the main character was awesome. Along with that, there's so many other romance school shows, and they're alright. Call Me Can't Communicate, honestly, I don't like that show. Charlotte, mid, but I kind of liked it. The ending was bittersweet. Kaguya-sama Love is War, I like that. The tension between Mikasa and Eren throughout this entire show was always something I look forward to seeing. And with that bittersweet conclusion of that show, it's just... But Eren finally revealed that he had feelings for Mikasa on the last movie, and I was like, there's no way. So, as you can see, I put the most hours in Attack on Titan. Now some honorable mentions. One Punch Man, Saitama and Fubuki, or Saitama and Tatsumaki. I'll ship either of those two. Tokyo Ghoul, Kaneki and Toka, Classroom of the Elite, Ainakuji and Horita, or Ainakuji and Karizawa. Rent-a-Girlfriend, Kazuya, Mizuhara. Love is War, I actually forgot their names. Sankyo no Terror, I forgot their names too. And Real Life, really underrated, and I forgot their names. Thanks for watching. Let's see if any of these shows that comes out in the future can replace any of my top 3s that I have now. I think maybe Chainsaw Man has a chance to replace one of them. Let's see if it's worth the hype. I mean, I love season 1, but let's see if it gets better.